We can talk about our Indies, but then what else we got? Oh, I guess I'll put in. I put in affiliations. Alright, what do you think of that, JoJo?
What's it called?
2020 wrap up?
Yeah, that's fine.
No, I meant Torpix. The Tarpix.
Oh, got it.
The Topix.
The Tor.
The Topax.
I mean, it looks good to me.
We can gift a sub now to be number. Sub now to be number.
Oh, so that's the leaderboards.
You can be number
There's
one.
a leaderboard for sub gifting, and there's a leaderboard for bit giving.
Yep.
Who's gonna be at the top of the leaderboard? The leaderboard.
The loader bogs.
You will be affiliated. Ha! Joseph appreciates my Star Trek humor.
Yeah, I got that now. I wasn't listening, I'm sorry.
You got Star Trek humor now?
You know the Borg?
No, I was just saying, it's like, he says he got it now. It's like, so you got Star Trek humor now? You didn't have it before?
He didn't. Okay. Yeah.
I think for 2021, we need to come up with a new intro.
Luckily, I'm not the music guy, so.
You're just the guy who needs to record like one sentence for me.
We wrote down what we thought that sentence could be.
No, I'm just going to change the sentence. It's just going to be like a few words, and I'll sub it in.
Okay. Just tell me what you want the sentence to be. I will read it in my most dramatic voice.
Yes.
Yes. I would be dramatic. That's how you do it, right?
Yes.
You just sound like you're on a starship that's about to blow up. Drama.
Yes.
Can't see it, but I'm like doing the imagination thing in front of my face. Drama.
Good job.
Thank you.
Imagination.
Guten Nacht.
So we're gonna do this, Cashew?
I suppose we couldn't we? Alright, fine. We grab these, and it better not mess up. Wait, it will mess up unless I do this.
Oh.
Fredbort.
Fredbert
be lured. This is the Player 4 Podcast. Join us each week as we talk about video games, entertainment, and pop culture, and bring in guests from the Rooster Teeth community. Player 4 has entered the game. Hello and welcome to the Player 4 Podcast. I'm your host, Tristan, aka Shagrazir.
I'm Alex, aka Chaos Black 21.
I'm Malachi, aka Sukikiba.
And I'm Joseph, aka J Dunlap.
I'm Joseph, aka J Dunlap. All of us were like super intense, and Joseph's just like, I'm on cloud 9.
Yes.
Yes. Alright, guys. The worst year of the evers is finally coming to a close. Let's hope it actually dies.
We're going to Legendary 1 tomorrow.
I did see that meme where it's like a picture of the guy and it has the countdown timer and it's like 11:59 like all that.
59 seconds.
And then it like skips over
1160.
Yeah, to where it's like still going.
Yep.
Like, it's still 2020.
Yep. Like, why didn't it end? Should have ended.
So yeah, hopefully it will go to 2021 and we can get back onto the right track.
I think we'll know pretty quickly, luckily, if we're on the right track. So people's pay attention to January 5th. I'm not allowed to talk about it, but you should know what's up. Pay attention to January 5th. What? What? Nothing, Joseph. Don't worry about it. I'm just doing stuff over here on my browser with the affiliate stuff. Oh, wait. We're not supposed to talk about that yet, unless you want to. Do you want to talk about that now? I didn't. What did I say? I didn't say anything. Oh, okay. Alex, tell me about your Xbox.
No, what? No.
You're first.
Why? Why did you keep that on there?
Because you got a new Xbox.
Yes, I got a new Xbox. I got the Xbox Series X.
And it didn't catch fire.
It did not. It hasn't caught fire yet.
Okay.
I mean, it has a good cooling system.
All right. Smoke.
So, but it is awesome. Unfortunately, Xbox has like no new games.
So it instead gives you massages, right?
No. But just in general, I think overall this launch for both Xbox and PlayStation 5 is probably one of the most, if not the most, underwhelming that I've ever seen.
Xbox, sponsor us.
However, the system itself is awesome. At least just playing the old games, like the load times are super freaking quick, which is great. So unless you like use those load times to be like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the bathroom or I'm gonna go get a drink, you can't anymore because you're in the game pretty much automatically.
You ain't got time to do that.
Quick resume is a great feature, and I love it. And now I finally am getting my games to download when I'm not using my Xbox because I accidentally turned on the energy saving option instead of the instant on. So for a while, trying to download the Halo the Master Chief Chronicle or collection, and it's over 129 gigs. Was taking a while, and I was wondering why, and it was because it wasn't downloading when I turned off the Xbox because of the energy saving option. But
nice.
Then I turned it on, and the
now
next
the world
day,
is amazing.
Yep.
So, did you reinstall yet Sea of Thieves?
Sea of Thieves actually was on my external because it wasn't in disc form. Basically, only games that were on discs were on my internal storage for my Xbox One. So all the games that are on my external, which is basically all the digital ones, got transferred, or just basically once I plugged in my into my Series X, yeah, I could play them. And it did have an update, but the update is done.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So I have like no Xbox One game discs. Everything that I have that is Xbox One exclusive is just digital, like including the Master Chief Collection. So you told me the other day how much data you needed to download in order to get things where they were. Can you remind me what that number was?
For the Halo?
Yeah.
Like 129 gigs.
It was on the call with you. You're like, well, I have 129 gigs to download, and I'm 22 gigs in.
Yeah. So you know, if you ever upgrade whenever Halo Infinite comes out, and you want to play, if you want to play the Master Chief Collection on the Series X, then yeah, you're gonna have 129 gigs to download.
That's pretty big.
But You have decent internet though, so
I do. I have pretty good internet. What? Tell me, because I now am curious as a consumer. How big was the internal hard drive that the Series X came with?
1 terabyte.
All right.
So,
Could do worse.
in all honesty, it's really not that big.
No.
for the size of games that you're going to be getting in this generation.
Yeah. It's just I remember. Boy, this takes me back. I remember when my dad bought his first computer in 1996, and they said, "This thing has a 10 gigabyte hard drive. You will never need anything more." And they meant it, because like a lot of 10 gigs, that was a ton back then. I remember I installed StarCraft on that baby. You know how much data StarCraft took up back then? When you installed it, at least?
I don't. What
It was 100 megabytes, the whole game.
Dang.
100 megabytes. Now it's like, oh yes, I would like to install my Call of Duty. Oh, 160 gigabytes, that seems fair.
Yeah.
160 gigabytes.
The problem, though, that's going to happen to everyone is that I can play my Xbox One games from that external storage. However, the new Series X games, and it's the same thing for PlayStation as well. You cannot play the Series X games off of an external storage other than the proprietary Seagate options that you have that you can purchase that are also only 1 or 2 gigs or 2 terabytes. I mean, so I'm gonna have to get new storage to be able to play new games otherwise, because that 1 terabyte that's internal is going to fill up quite quickly.
Dang. Malachi.
Yes.
What's the biggest single game installation you've done so far?
It'd probably have to be Final Fantasy 14, I'm guessing. Is probably my biggest game. Let's see. I have to look on my C drive. I've never had to pay attention or cared to pay attention to what my biggest game was, so.
But can you remember how many gigs it was? I want to hear a number.
Let me look real quick, see if I can find it real fast. Because that's the only thing I could think of being the biggest thing. So this MMO is 49 gigs.
It's pretty big.
Yep.
Joseph, oh, sorry.
No, that's it. That should be my biggest game.
Joseph, what do you think the biggest one that you've installed was?
On my computer?
Yeah.
You mean on my computer?
Yeah.
Ooh. Probably Skyrim Special Edition? I don't know.
Skyrim.
Plus all the mods?
You have any idea how big it was?
I can look right now.
Oh ho ho.
Ho ho ho.
I will, because the mods are in the folder, I think, or does Vortex separate them?
All I know is I think the biggest thing I've installed on my computer was 60 gigs in one go, and I'm still like, too many. And everything coming out now has got more gigs than that.
Yes, they do.
Joseph, what is that?
Skyrim Special Edition is 12, almost 13 gigabytes.
No, that's a little baby game.
I don't know. I don't think I have any games that are really big.
Baby.
I just got Jurassic World Evolution on sale, and that's like 7 gigabytes. Witcher 3 is almost 50 gigs.
There you go.
Sorry. Witcher 2 is about the size of Skyrim. And I'll do one more. I'm going to see Mass Effect. What is it?
Now we're getting into the gigs.
I don't even know where Mass Effect
but
is.
which Mass Effect, though? Is it? 'Cause the first Mass Effect is probably still small.
Andromeda, of course.
The first Mass Effect is larger than Skyrim Special Edition.
Oh.
But that might include mods. And then Mass Effect 2 is almost 13 gigs. One more thing, I'll find Andromeda is not on the Steam store.
That's okay.
At least not mine.
That's okay. I was just curious as to what kind of things people were shoving in their hard drives these days and how big they was.
Giggity.
What?
Nothing.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Mass Effect Andromeda is about the same size as Witcher 3.
There you go. Biggie Smalls. 70 gigs.
Yeah, I've got an external just for most of my games.
Biggie Bigs.
That makes sense. All my hard drives are internal, but I've got a 2 terabyte and a 4 terabyte in my computer.
That's a lot.
Gina was like, do you need an external for Christmas? And I was like, I guess. So she got one that I'm going to let Michael use for the computer he games off of.
There you go. I like the internals because it means that I can make SATA connections, which are a bit faster.
That's what I did. I got a 2 terabyte.
At some point, I will include an internal on here that's nice and big, but we started off with just a 500 gig SSD.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, and that's pretty expensive. Like, when I built this computer, I was like, I'm going to have the OS be on an SSD so that I can boot fast and stuff like that. And I got it, like, 150 gig, something like that. I think it's somewhere between 150 and 200 gig SSD. Because I'm like, those things are expensive. I don't need to spend a lot of money on that if I'm not going to be putting much on it. Everything else goes on to the spinning disk hard drives, and I've got like 5 or 6 hard drive bays on this particular chassis. I can just start loading it up.
Oh yeah, chassis.
It's actually scary how small even the internal ones are. Just like I got a 228 gig SSD for my OS, just because I also wanted it for a few other programs if I needed them or wanted them to boot faster.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, it's itty bitty. It's like only like 3 inches by like an inch and a half.
Yeah, they're like half the size of a normal hard drive, and then they're like a 1/4 inch thick. You know, they're like nothing. And of course, there's no moving parts in it, so they're completely silent when they run. The only warning I have to anybody who's now sitting out there like, "Oh, SSD, that sounds very special and nice," I would say, yeah, it is special, nice, and fast, but only do it for data you're not planning on removing and rewriting, because that wears out SSDs. So you don't want to be writing or unwriting and rewriting to your SSD a lot. Just whatever you're keeping forever should go on there. Not stuff that you plan on removing and then putting something new on. It's not good for that. It'll wear out.
That's a good tip.
So that's why I say go small and just put your OS on it and don't put anything else on there.
Mm-hmm. And if you want an external, get an SSD for pictures and stuff. It'll last you forever.
It should, yeah. As far as I know.
There's a game you want to play forever.
I want to play all my games forever. I got the old Rayman again, because I wanted to play that again. I got...
Not the Rayman Robbins.
You know, I feel like I never really treated Rayman as a game series, but when that happened, it just stopped being the thing that I used to know it as. Because now people think of the Rabbids, and it's like, but where's Rayman? And people go, who?
Who? It's Rabbids.
It's not Rabbids, it's Rayman. Where's Rayman? He doesn't have arms or legs or a neck.
I don't know who this thing is.
He uses his hair to fly like a helicopter.
Stop talking nonsense. It's all about the rest.
I'm Miss Rayman.
The second minions.
What? No. They look like a thumb with goggles.
Well, they're basically one and the same. It's a conspiracy.
You're right. All the good stuff dies so that the little side characters can take over. That's fine. We didn't need Steve Carell anyway.
What's the next topic?
I was just about to shout at Joseph. Joseph!
Quack!
Tell me about this affiliation thing.
Oh,
Inflation.
Fellatio.
No, not that. Xbox, sponsor us.
No, that's what?
What is this Affalo thingamajig or whatever that you guys have been talking about?
I can't read.
I'm so confused.
The topic is affiliation. What does it mean?
Oh, affiliation.
It's like an
it might
ocean
be
of
the fact
tiny
that
horses.
We average so many views in our D&D streams and sometimes the podcast, and then we're consistent with streaming, and then we finally got over the edge of 50 followers on Twitch. We are now officially affiliates,
Woo!
which the main thing that means is that we can have emotes for our channel, and we also have channel points, which I'm currently, as we're doing this podcast, because we just finished the onboarding stuff before we went live, I'm working out what the channel points rewards are going to be. So that's exciting because it's going to give us a way to interact with people and have people interact with us while we're live.
Nice. You said something about being made to drink water, and I feel like that is slander.
What did I say?
Earlier, you were talking about making people drink water with points.
Or fixed posture.
Yeah.
That is a thing that I've seen many streamers use. I don't think that really fits with a 4+ person venture, but I've got things like make Alex stop saving his smite. Make the DM do funny voices.
No, that isn't fair. You're forcing me to use my smite when I might not want to.
It can cost as much as you want it to.
Make it cost 1,000,000 bits.
Exactly. There you go. You want to make me use my smite? You have to pay 1,000,000 bits. Good luck, people.
Okay, done. It's 1,000,000 bits.
Oh man, but it's only 3 bits to get him to climax song.
No.
I've got a thing here, and DMs can choose not to honor these, but I'm going to honor them. Mulligan is 1,000. What that amounts to, basically, for any player is they basically get a mulligan a week, which is a house rule I've played with in the past.
Mm.
You can just say no and disable it for your streams if you want to, you and Derek, but I'll have it.
Mm-hmm. Bits.
But this isn't bits, though.
If you do 5 bits,
These are channel points.
that Riken will shout the day is his whenever you offer that much.
I'm gonna get you an emote that says the day is mine. It's gonna be Riken shouting the day is mine.
I can't wait. I will use it so much.
Bits. So is that it? Is that how it works? You gotta give us bits to get us to do stuff?
These aren't bits, they're channel points.
Okay, how many channel points does it cost to make us stop streaming?
I don't know.
How many channel points do I have to give Malachi to let us get the flip out of here at the end of the podcast?
I think we just ask him what it's time for. But we didn't talk about D&D yet.
No, I know. We're not there yet.
Whoa.
Don't pull that trigger yet.
Yeah.
You can't unring that bell.
Here's the thing.
What's the thing, Alex?
It's 999,999 bits. So it would be they would have to really decide: do I want them to stop streaming, or do I want Riken to use his smite?
There you go.
It's a tough choice.
It's only one bit less.
And you got to remember, Joseph, D&D takes a whole podcast. So.
I can only.
There's so many people. Yeah, that fixing posture and stuff doesn't make sense for us because I don't think any of us face cams.
Yeah, so that doesn't work. So I've got AMA, Funny Voices, The Day Is Mine, Mulligan, Cook Critical, Don't Pass Go, I'm an NPC, VIP, Stop Streaming, and Stop Saving Smite.
Does Cook Critical mean they can buy a crit?
For 2,500. That takes, I think, somewhere in the range of 3 to 4 days of watching.
Oh my gosh.
Buy a crit.
So much crit.
Could buy
I'll keep it on. You can disable it whenever you're live if you want to.
You can buy a vowel.
Much wow.
Don't Pass Go is a lot more than a critical. It makes the monster skip a turn. That's multiple sessions worth of listening.
Sounds interesting. It's going to shift the dynamic of D&D.
I'll leave it on for mine, and we can up points if it ends up happening too much.
All right, how do we know when it's like? How do I know if somebody spent a points?
It'll show up in chat.
Oh shit! That means I have to look at chat.
Yeah, you didn't look at chat last time.
I did not at all. Like Joseph was hanging out, and I didn't even because I was DMing.
I had to bring up the person asking about what tool you were using.
I think last week Ari came by and said hi.
I saw that too after the fact. I see it all after the fact. I go and look at all the chat because there's a Discord chat that I'm not watching during the stream, and all this stuff because I'm just focusing on what's in front of me, trying to like keep everything straight in my head.
They should just be using the stream chat then.
Probably.
I rolled a 4, by the way.
Nice.
So let's talk about ELR and Valinaria.
Yeah, let's do that. You wanna start us off? Ugh, you beat me.
I got a crit yesterday during your game.
Oh.
You did, right after I got a crit.
What?
So, let's talk about Valinaria, because I finally fixed that snafu I'm not going to address tonight.
You just talked about it, now you're just going to leave it, like, you're going to spill part of the tea and not the rest of it?
Okay, the tea is apparently no one was actually listening to it, because we had the players tuning in and no one else, or else someone would have said, I can't hear the DM. That's what it amounted to. My noise gate was set, I think, to exclude mouse noises for some stupid reason. It excluded me noises. So I fixed that. So that's live. Tristan, did you get to listen to that?
I did start listening to it. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, though.
Once I get the okay from anyone who's listened to it, it's unlisted, then I'll make it public tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the episode where we introduce 2 new players, Zan and Danielle. Zan, who is a musician who I used to teach, and Danielle, who is from Norway.
Is it bad that I just want to call them Zaniel for just simplicity? I know they're not an item or anything, but...
I mean, their characters do have a shared backstory, even if it is only like a month.
Shared backstories are important.
Yeah, so they were traveling companions. So we've got Danielle, who is a monk druid, a druid who went on her pilgrimage and then got a level of monk while hanging out with her dog, and which is named Winter, and Tristan is trying to turn into his first mate.
It's true.
And then Zan, who is he just a dwarf fighter? What is he?
Last time we played was like a month and a half ago.
Okay, it was a few weeks ago because I had to fix the audio. I'll look real quick, okay?
I don't remember what shape the planet is.
Actually, no, it's on Streamlabs. I'll look.
Planet is jelly bean shaped.
I love jelly beans, so delicious.
He is a dwarf fighter.
Hey, look at you.
So I added those in because we were down to 3 players. since the bard had to move on because the person playing the bard has big news. I don't think he has shared. No, he shared it publicly by now. He's having twins.
What?
He posted a picture of his wife holding 2 identical shirts, so I think it's public now.
What?
Yep.
Zan.
When I met him, he was 9, so it's crazy.
That is crazy.
So now we have a group of 5, and the adventure was, let's see, we stopped with, hey, so you're going to fix the vampire problem. Tristan comes out of the privy and says, what I miss. And from there, it's revealed that the people asking them to solve the vampire problem know basically nothing about vampires.
That was so good. I made up a whole bunch of BS about vampires. I'm like, yeah, that sounds right.
What do they look like? Oh, you know what vampires look like. And like 3 minutes later, he goes, so I just want to address that he said that.
I even tried to give them an out, like 50, like they with yes, no kind of. So like, are they human shaped? How many legs have they got?
You know, they're big monsters, scary monsters.
Like 6 legs, you know? They're like, yeah, 6 legs.
Yeah. So the 2 eyewitnesses, you kept saying, how many arms? How many legs? They're like, I don't know. It was dark.
Nobody could confirm to us what they looked like. So I'm like, as far as I know, I'm right.
So I kind of skipped there, but there was a moment after you accepted Zaniel into the group that you went over to the town hall and looked at the painting of the heroes of Garson's farm and just stood there in awkward silence while Tristan's character had his hand on his chest for the not fallen brethren, but the bard leaving. And then from there we went to the festival where there were fist fights between various people. But it's Zaniel with a Z, not with an X. That would be Xaniel.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's really not. It's Alexander. Zan.
Okay, fine. So there was a fist fight.
Funny.
The Derek's paladin wanted a rematch with the blacksmith, who had beaten him in arm wrestling a few sessions before. I think 2 sessions prior. And then he won his rematch, and then had a wrestling match then with Danielle's monk, and she won. Is that right? No, I think she won.
I remember that she, I think, beat up the paladin.
Twice.
Mm-hmm.
Because later on she said that cowards wear armor, or weak people wear armor, and then he started a fist fight with her and she beat him again.
I was always rooting for not him, which was great.
Well, you kept telling the dog, depending how this goes, you'll be either my first or second mate.
It's a good dog.
Let's see. From there was dancing and there was music, and then we fast forwarded to the obligatory making the dwarf do a saving throw for fortitude, and he passed it, so then he was not hungover the next day, because people were just trying to see what they could give the dwarf, and he would shovel down.
He really didn't.
Then there was gathering information about the vampires. So first thing was talking to the eyewitnesses. So there was 2 interesting characters, a pimply teenager with a cracked voice and a somewhat pretentious farmer. I don't think in my re-recording I quite captured that essence, but I did my best. He thought he was an expert on vampires and wanted you to hire him.
It rings a bell.
Well, so he was saying, well, there were bite marks on the livestock, so maybe the wolves are working with the vampire.
Right. Oh my goodness.
You were like, I guess we'll have to hire you at some point.
I was just trying to get the others to pull their weight. Like, I'm gonna hire this guy if you guys don't start figuring stuff out.
I did have to stop at that point. Everyone made their gather information checks, and I did not relish the nightmare that was trying to get all that done. I wrote what words I heard and couldn't piece it together, so we're going to start there tomorrow.
Oh, man.
It's just the things that everyone figured out. I'd rather just say it tomorrow and roleplay through it tomorrow rather than trying to piece it together.
Okay.
So it was overall a very entertaining session. I think that having these two new members, has breathed more life into the campaign than just leaving it at 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
I like the little comments that Danielle's character will say that are just sort of off the cuff, completely random sometimes. For example, when her character didn't know what a halfling was, so she's like, well, where's his parents?
Yes. The unexpected naivete.
Or everyone take a step back, and Zam was like, so dwarf steps or and the teenager goes, I mean normal people steps.
Oh no. It's going to be a bumpy ride, folks.
I'm really enjoying getting to just roleplay so much, because we're going to hit a point where there's going to be lots of killing and fighting and blood and screaming and fun. But I want to start off by really, really getting into the characters.
Yeah, getting into the characters and making them people first is very important.
So speaking of blood and screaming and crying and dying, so what's going on in ELR?
War never changes. The party is currently, they finished the first combat encounter of the Battle for Umberlight, as they have chosen to align themselves with the leader, High Priestess Morwen of Illustrae, against the Lulthsworn Drow, and are trying to help her push the Lulthsworn out of the city of Umberlight, so that the followers of Illustrae can fully control the city, finally, after, decades and centuries of having to live under the thumb of Lolth and hide their true passions from her. And so the fight went very quickly, and in my opinion, up until this moment when the last session started. Because when the last session started, there were only 2 enemies left, and they were 2 Dryder that were up on the roof of the building. And so the party was trying to get up onto the roof, and they had to they didn't want to spend any more spell slots, so they took the stairs. So it was multiple turns of people running up the stairs, 3 floors of stairs, all the while. The fighter is up there. The paladin is up there. Riken is fighting these Dryder. And finally the Dryder are defeated or thrown off the roof, and Riken goes back down the stairs, and everybody's like, "Oh, we have to go all the way back down, and then we finally got up here." So it was
You mean Yukikaze went down the stairs?
Yes.
Riken jumped off the roof.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And then got carried by Shuffle back to the
So yeah,
square.
this latest session was pretty funny. It was full of a lot of hijinks during battle, just people trying things and being a bit silly, which honestly is good to understand what you can do, what you can get away with, and the kinds of DCs I might throw on different stuff. So the druid wild-shaped into an air elemental and asked if he could carry another character while he was flying, and I said, yeah, you could technically, grapple them and bring them with you. You'd move at half speed, and you'd, carry them inside, your whirlwind tornado body, basically. And so he carried the wizard up onto the roof, and the 2 of them together went to engage one of the Dryders. The Dryder immediately decided it didn't want to fight an air elemental, and moved around the air elemental to go fight the wizard. She beat on him with her sword, and then shoved him off the roof. And he fell back into the courtyard, and then the rogue was immediately like, hey, I'm standing on this statue that's 10 feet lower than the roof of the building. I want to jump from the top of the statue onto the roof. I'm like, yeah, you can do some acrobatic flipping and stuff. Roll me an acrobatics check. DC is going to be 25. He's like, I can totally make the... No, I didn't make it. And he intentionally he told me, I want to line this up so that if I fail, I land on the wizard. And so he failed and landed on the wizard. So, they're making friends. Then, I think one of my favorite moments when the Drider tried to make its escape by dropping darkness and running, and Riken, with his haste, was able to run straight over there, get there, and position himself so that if she continued trying to run, he'd be able to use Sentinel to stop her. And then immediately the air elemental came down, just like engulfed her in his tornado and flung her off the roof. I was like, cool, now she can escape.
Yep, second time that I tried to slow down or stop somebody, and one of my teammates goes ahead and hits them so that they could keep running.
I mean, I'd chalk it up to bad communication, but you have Rary's telepathic bond. You can just, like, yell at people in your brain.
That time was definitely my fault for not communicating. The first time, though, I clearly communicated, all right, they're stopped, let's surround them, and they're just like, the first one goes up and just hits them. So that they can move before everyone surrounds them.
You have very impatient, bloodthirsty teammates.
Yep.
And so then once they finished that combat, they were able to kind of take some stock, see that with their added efforts, this region of the city, the sector of the city that they were in, seemed to be calming down, and they followed some soldiers and moved on, as they are the body of soldiers fighting within the city are trying to push the aggressors out. So they're pushing them from one district of the city to the next toward the gates. And so we rolled initiative for the next combat, and that's where we stopped.
And Riken's not last.
Riken's not last.
Riken's in the middle. He actually did better than half the team.
There you go. So it will be interesting. They are, as Morwen had suggested, they do seem to be winning the day, but it is not, a foregone conclusion. There is still fighting to be done.
And Drow to save.
Indeed, which I think in the grand scheme of D&D games around the world is unusual. And I'm happy to have unusual games. Actually, it's a good point, Malachi. As a side note, when they were moving from one area to the next, they did come upon a burning building, and were able to run in and save some people. Save some drow from the burning building. So that is important. They are doing their humanitarian efforts. What was your favorite moment, Malachi?
Favorite or moment that I was like, I'm glad I did that? Because I really didn't. I wouldn't say. Well, it was kind of funny that I came in, stole Riken's kill, and then ran away. I was like, they're like, someone help Riken. Okay. Walk in, kill it, leave.
Done.
Kill, steal.
I helped. Still have haste. I'm gone.
He and Bendar did all the work.
To this very moment, I wish I had had the Drider place its darkness not on itself, but on the other Drider. Things would have worked out differently.
That's mean.
Oh well. I figured that they would have a chance to... She would darkness herself and the other one would darkness itself, but it did not work out that way.
No, because you got the Dragonborn duo and Bendar.
Got Hammer Brosed.
Hammer Bros and Purple Wormed.
Ugh. Yeah. Yep. Sure.
Anything else?
All over me.
Anything else for our wrap up of 2020?
This year can suck it. Let's have a better next one.
Yeah. Also, we're ending the year at Affiliate. That's neat.
Yeah. Affiliate.
As far as mental health goes, it wasn't the best year for several of us, but as far as our D&D games and having fun with our friends, it didn't affect us that badly.
Yeah, because we're already online with our D&D.
True.
Just gave us more excuse to meet together and play.
Yeah. I'm already closed up at home, working from home, so might as well just stay in front of the computer and hang out with my friends.
Friends.
Okay, I think we should, before we get the flip out of here, we should each say something awesome that happened for us this year. And anyone in chat can do it too.
So who's starting?
You, apparently.
All my debt's completely paid off.
Yeah,
That's great.
That is good. Nice job.
So that's a big positive in my.
I got an Xbox Series X.
Woohoo!
I got rid of my car so that I don't have to think about it anymore, which is a huge amount of stress off my mind since I had to keep it repaired. It just kept falling apart, and I had to keep moving it from one side of the street to the other so it didn't get towed or ticketed.
Woo!
So it was just a lot of stress.
Free up some of that stress.
Every month, I would be rudely awoken by the truck going by with its klaxon blaring and the recorded voice saying, "Move your car from this side to that side of the street. Any car left there will be towed and ticketed." I'm like, oh shit, I need to get out there and make sure I'm on the right side of the street.
Yep.
Now I don't have to think about it at all. Just go. I can't drive anywhere, but honestly, the lack of stress is so much better than being able to drive. How about you, Joseph?
So I made a big life decision with my wife in consultation, obviously. Basically, in John Mulaney's words, we get to keep our stuff in the bank's house for 30 years until it's ours. So we bought a house.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations on getting a house.
You're all welcome over anytime you're in this part of Texas. Ha, ha, ha.
Quarter past sometime next year, I guess.
I'm only 2.5 hours from Austin, so.
It's a long drive to get out there.
Yeah, it is. But it's a nice little house, and we're talking about doing an addition to the side for guest room / streaming room.
There you go. Streaming on the central hallway that runs through the whole thing seems a bit inconvenient.
Yeah, the only place I could stream from that would be private is more ideally used for Gina to study.
Yeah. Well, that'd be awesome if you can do the addition.
Yeah, we're looking at doing an addition, getting a fence around the yard, because there are certain parts that are just gaps. Because the previous owners only did like a half fence in the backyard.
That's weird.
We're going to tear down the unused garage and build Gina a greenhouse at some point. Get me a grill, build a back porch, like a whole bunch of stuff. Because we want to live here,
Yeah.
and not just sit here in the house. We want to actually enjoy the property.
That sounds like a plan, man.
Plus, if we do a guest room, it'll make the living room not always cold because there's a giant window that leaks cold air.
One of those bay windows.
It's smack dab in the middle, half the wall.
Yeah.
And it just leaks cold air, and we're going to make this guest room very, very insulated, so the rest of the house will not get as cold.
Nice.
Or as hot. So I have a place for you guys to stay in about 6 months. Sorry, Tristan, what'd you say?
I said, and it'll be right where that window was.
Exactly. We'd be getting rid of the window.
Nice.
I guess I should have said that.
I mean, it was implied, but I wanted to make it explicit.
Ooh, explicit.
No, not like that.
No, you can't take it back.
Xbox sponsor us.
Oh my gosh.
Anytime you guys say something dirty, I'm gonna shout that.
Xbox sponsor us.
So I have high hopes that in 2 days it's 2021.
Yay!
No, I'm really hoping that it will be.
I know. Let it be 2021. Let this year end. It's been really amazing to me, in the worst way, as I've been, living these last few years. Watching everybody go, okay, the worst year ever is finally ending. I was hoping that next year's gonna be better, and then somehow it finds a way to be worse. Starting in friggin' like 2015 or something. It was just like, this year's gotta go.
It's gotta.
Well, Malachi, what's it time for?
To get the flip out of here.
Let's flip out of here.
Let's flip out.
Backflip.
Thanks for joining us, Kitsune and no one else.
Backflip, everybody.
This has been a midnight snack.
Ugh. Hashtag backflip.
P streams.
I feel it was
Good
such a
night.
missed
I'm
opportunity. I've been trying to get Alex to say backflip in his caboose voice.
Backflap.
I'm gonna go on backflap.
There we go.
Give me a boost.
Whee! You are a good person.
The episode that never ends.
This is the episode that never ends.
Good night.
Bye.
Hashtag goodbye.
Tristan, we should get in the
Good
habit
night.
of rating people when the episode is over.
Oh, who are we gonna raid?
Well, we could go with a group of role players that are run by the company that made the Gamer movies, or we can raid an Among Us stream.
Click the button, I guess.
It's on your end, I think.
Wait, what do I click? Right now I'm hovering over the end stream button. Is there a different button?
I think you can type in /raid.
Do I not end stream?
No, you don't end stream.
I don't end stream.
I think from the P4 podcast account, you type in /raid and then you type in the username.
Okay, what's the username?
You can choose. Do you want a role-playing game or do you want Murder Beans, which is Among Us?
I think that Among Us is easier to watch, but I want to support role players.
So you want Zombie Orpheus.
Zombie Orpheus.
It's the company that made the Gamers, Gamers 2, Gamers 3.
Did I spell it right? There's no matches.
Dun, dun, dun.
Alright, I'm gonna get going, guys. See you later.
Bye.
I think I did it.
Sweet. I'm going to raid. I watch them from time to time. Connor is in that. I don't think he's in this game, but he plays with them.
Let's see, one viewer is ready to raid. Okay, raid now.
I'm ready.
Looks like I did it. So, what happens now?
Now they get a notification.
That we raided.
With one person.
With one person.
Thanks for the raid of one person. You're welcome.
Why can't I? Followers only chat. Send. Oh!
You might recognize the one with the bells and the one with the beanie if you watch the Gamers.
I love the Gamers. They're great. I'm waiting. I have to wait 30 more seconds before I'm allowed to type anything.
Wow.
You have to be a follower in order to chat, and once you become a follower, you have to be a follower for 1 minute before you can chat. So I'm like, I'd like to say hello.
Connor's got a nice beard.
I wish I had a nice beard. There we go. I've finally been a follower long enough to say hello.
And a nice beard.
So do we just keep streaming? Like, how does this work?
The raid has happened, so you can watch or not.
Okay.
The stream ended.
Wait, what do I click? Do I just click end stream now?
Yeah.
Okay.